Buddy. Um, so let me pick up where we left off yesterday. We did talk about this one. So viruses can replicate in multiple ways in a host cell. Remember, viruses can't reproduce unless they're in a host cell. So a lysogenic infection does no harm. We talked about that yesterday, and it does no harm right at the beginning. Okay, a lytic infection causes the host cell to burst. So when it bursts, it lets everything out, and that's when it causes an infection. Okay, so okay. Infections that replicate only through lytic cycle are known as virulent. Virulent viruses destroy the cells that they infect. Okay, so you have a lysogenic infection that will infect you later. Okay, not right when you get the virus. Okay, so this is something that sits under a thing. So an example of it is herpes. Let's just go with oral herpes right now. So if you've ever had a cold sore, you don't have a cold sore all the time. It comes up in times of stress or when you're sick or something like that. That's a lysogenic infection. Okay, it doesn't infect you right away, but it's always there, ready to come up if there's times of stress, which is like when you're sick or actually stressed or something like that. A lytic infection infects you right away. That would be like the flu. As soon as you get it, you pretty much get the infection or the virus. So virulent means that it causes infection. Virulent viruses destroy the cells that they infect. Viruses whose replication includes the lysogenic cycle are known as temperate viruses. The viral DNA integrated into the host cell chromosome is known as a prophase or a prophage. Okay, provirus or a prophage. Lysogenic ones don't infect you right away. Lytic infections do because they burst. All right, so, hold on. Y'all like it when I do this. Sorry. Slideshow. Why am I having trouble? New slide. No, that's not it. Slideshow. Okay, sorry. Okay, when the DNA of some DNA viruses enter the host cell, they make RNA. The DNA of other DNA viruses insert into the host cell's chromosomes. So this is known, when the DNA is inserted, is known as a provirus. Okay, so here you've got DNA and then more DNA. So you got a host DNA and then you got viral DNA. That's called a provirus. Okay. The genome of some RNA viruses enters host cells and serves directly as the messenger RNA. The genome of other RNA viruses is transcribed, and then that is used as a template. So messenger RNA is used as their template. Some viruses, known as retroviruses, contain the enzyme reverse transcriptase. Okay, so the most popular, I wouldn't say popular, the world's best well-known virus is HIV, is a retrovirus. This enzyme uses RNA as a template to make DNA, which inserts into the host DNA. So you've got HIV DNA here, and then what happens is you've got new RNA, and it makes DNA here. Okay? So a retrovirus is basically taking RNA and making it into DNA. That's a retrovirus. All right, here's an example of it right here, but that's really complicated, so we're going to skip that. All right, so when HIV evolves in the human body, it becomes able to infect your T cells. T cells are some things that you can fight off infection. So in this phase of infection, the HIV virus is created through the lytic cycle. Lytic means it's going to burst. Lytic means burst, okay, like lysis. So here, the virus attaches to the cell and injects DNA. Okay, so virus, DNA, and this is your bacterial chromosome because it's got to have a host. The viral DNA enters either cycle. Okay, the new viruses are made, and then the cell breaks open and releases the viruses. Okay, so lytic means it'll happen later. So, when you get HIV, hopefully none of you, but when that happens, you don't see symptoms necessarily right away. It comes later. That's a lysogenic cycle. Okay, so when it actually bursts, that's when you get the symptoms. Viruses are classified based on whether they have a genome of RNA or DNA, and whether it is a single-stranded or double-stranded. So you can have single-stranded DNA. Okay, sorry y'all, I don't know how to mess with that. So you have classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so like 1 is a double strand of DNA, 2 is a single strand of DNA. You don't have to know all of these, you just need to know that some are RNA, some are DNA, and some are single stranded and some are double stranded. I'm not going to ask you which. Okay, that's too much. This is the Baltimore classification system. This right here is what this was right here. Again, you don't have to memorize it. You just need to know that some viruses are based on RNA or DNA, and some are single-stranded and some are double-stranded. Okay, and it's called Baltimore classification system. So here's some examples. So, like, class 1 is double-stranded DNA. Class 2 is single-stranded DNA. This one right here takes RNA and DNA. This is reverse transcriptase. So it was DNA, it becomes it was RNA, becomes DNA. This is RNA, becomes DNA. I mean RNA. God, I keep reading this wrong. And then this one is double-stranded RNA. So again, know that there are some RNA, some DNA, some double-stranded, some single-stranded. Okay. Class 1 viruses. Okay. These are double-stranded DNA viruses and uses host replication machinery. So basically, what it does is makes a host and it replicates the DNA. Okay, this would be adenoviruses, which is common cold, pox viruses, and herpes viruses. Okay, this is an example of that. Okay, so adenovirus is a common cold, one of them. Pox viruses are like smallpox, and then you have your herpes virus, which is oral and sexual. Okay, so herpes virus can be herpes simplex 1, herpes simplex 2. Herpes simplex 1 is chickenpox, which you all had the shot, so you don't have. And then you can get genital herpes. Mono is also a herpes virus, and cold sores. That's the one that's herpes simplex 1. Okay, cold sores. You will have a cold sore you'll have an option to get that for the rest of your life. Okay, and these are called to creep because what these are is it means that many of the infections are latent with recurrent infections. So if you have a cold sore or if you have genital herpes, you don't always have it. You have outbreaks of it in times of stress. So it says more than 90% of adults have been infected with at least one of the herpes viruses, either genital herpes or cold sores or even chickenpox or something like that. Okay? So this is a cold sore on your lip. They don't always look like that. And this is chickenpox, which probably none of you had. So these right here are always in your body ready to creep up, basically. So, like, if you had chickenpox, you can get shingles when you're older. Okay, if you've had a cold sore, you're probably going to get another one. You might not ever, but you might. If you have herpes, if you have genital herpes, you always have it. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, you're always going to have it. You'll have outbreaks at different times. Okay, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.